a long time ago, when I first launched online, I had really low-end versions of it, like, you know, $25 or $30 a week, and then I had a higher-end version of it that was what was it? It was between $80 and $100 a week. And then I also had, after that, I thought, that's it. This content is changing people's lives, right? So I upped the price to 4 figures. I'll tell you what it was in a second. Now, because it's online, you're not just working with anyone. And I didn't know anything about Facebook ads, so I wasn't running ads to a landing page and all that stuff. I had that stuff going, but that was for example, my 28-day program. Like, I've done a lot of these online things for a long time. And Facebook ads work if you get them right. But you do need to work with someone to get them right. Now, I digress, because I've had too much coffee now. So I'm gonna have to have some fish oil while I talk to you about this, because I like to have fish oil at the same time. Anyway. Now, what did I do? One of my face-to-face clients referred a client to me from America. And obviously I wasn't able to see her, but what I was potentially able to do was offer her my online. Now, this girl had massive problems with losing fat, and I knew from speaking to her that it had to do with environment, synthetic estrogens and all that kind of stuff. Like, it was really polluted, the area that she was living in, and genetically, and then her background that she came from, and the heritage. Like, she was from a really polluted place in the world, which actually affects the synthetic estrogens that are in your body, and then you need to do proper detox protocols and that kind of stuff. And she probably needed to go for some blood tests for some critical factors. Anyway, I would have referred her to other people for that kind of stuff. But the fact is that when you can solve a really big problem like that, it's pretty priceless, right? So I knew the value. The value is like, I don't know, $10,000 or $20,000. But I wasn't charging that for this course. I was only charging $3,000. Anyway, I remember I was talking to this woman on Skype. She was an American lady that was referred to me from a current client of mine. So she was referred. So she was kind of already sold. I don't know if she saw any of my material online. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. I never kind of pushed that stuff at that time. Knowing now what I know, I would have actually shown her some of my material before I spoke to her, just to kind of warm her up and also qualify her so she knew what I was about and the message and all that stuff. So that's a really good idea. Make sure you share your stuff with your clients, because it qualifies them before you speak to them, because you really should never speak to a cold lead. You don't have to ever speak to a cold lead. Now, this woman, anyway, I was talking to her for about an hour, and then when I price presented, the price was $3,000, right? And I remember the spiel. Like, I remember what I was looking at. I'm a very visual person. I was in my car, actually, and I was talking to her on Skype, and I was looking at it, and I said, that's $3,000. Now, that's the first time that a price that high had ever come out of my mouth. Now, going back of being worthy of all money and that kind of stuff, I had paid, I think recently or in that year, I had paid probably close to $20,000 for courses, US, that I'd done myself, that I'd purchased. So it's not like I wasn't used to big numbers, but I'd never charged that myself, right? Now, when that amount came out of my mouth, I literally wanted to shake. I wanted to explode. I just can't, like, I could feel every cell in my body actually changing. It was amazing. Now, she said no, and I talked to her about, you know, pain points and whatever, you know, the normal sales spiel, and that's fine, because that was her decision. But what changed in me as a result of that was the floodgates were open. I cannot tell you how open the floodgates were. Now, yes, I know I could have got her results, whatever. It's actually irrelevant. The answer that she gave me, I promise, was irrelevant, because do you know what happened after that? The floodgates were open. And then people did actually start paying $3,000 for that. Why am I getting excited? I'm getting super excited about this. Because I became it, and then it was there. It wasn't it just didn't happen the other way around. Like, I just made a post about this on my page. Hang on a sec, I'm going to take this fish oil. I like to take fish oil at the same time as coffee, otherwise it makes me a bit jittery. Anyway, the point was, every cell in my body, let me tilt this up a bit, every cell in my body actually changed as a result of saying that to that woman. Now, after we hung up, and I didn't care, I got out of my car, because I was in my car at the time on my iPad, on Skype. I was sitting still, I was parked. And I got out of the car and I was fist pump in the air, and I was crying with excitement because it came out of my mouth. And I told my former coach at the time that I'd had that year, a couple of years ago, I told them, I said in the group, oh my God, I just started charging $3,000 for this course and blah, blah, blah. Prior to that, people had been getting that content for $30 a week or $80, $90 or $100 a week. And now I was going to charge $3,000. It was by virtue of the fact that it came out of my mouth. It had to come out of my mouth first. Then I believed it. Then I did it. So I'm not banging on about all this law of attraction stuff of you've got to be it and then you'll see it. It's not because of stuff I've read, although I have read a lot about it and it is amazing, and you do need to brainwash yourself with that stuff because it's important. But if you want to charge a higher price because you solve a massive problem, you are not ever going to believe your worth until you let the words come out of your mouth. So, a couple of my girls are watching this. You have to let the words come out of your mouth. That is the big takeaway from all of this. Practice that if you want. Know the worth, like, ethically. I believe you must totally over-deliver. Totally over-deliver. You have to care more about the person and their results than you care about the money. Otherwise, it won't work. Now, on that, I made another video, and I want to just talk about this for a second because I made another video actually for my group the other day talking about transactions. It cannot be about the money. It has to be about the mission that you're doing, and open yourself up to receiving and all of that stuff. But so many of you guys in this group are so experienced and so underpaid. Think of it this way. The stuff that you are enlightening your clients with, what is the time? Because I have to eat. The stuff that you're enlightening your clients with is literally going to save them potentially 1, 2, 5, 10 years of training with inexperienced trainers. Is it not? It is. That is actually the truth. I remember sitting across the table from people sometimes, and this one particular woman said, I charged around the $100 mark, and I told her the price. So she wanted to train one-on-one, and I didn't want to take any more clients on, so I just kept making the price higher. So I charged this much, and she said, she nearly fell off a chair. I don't care. And she said, oh, but I just spoke to a trainer and he only charges $30. I said, well, that's great. Go and train with him. So what kind of results are they getting? And it's probably going to take you 2 years to do what I could do with you in 2 months. So you'll end up spending the same money anyway. Can you feel that when I say that? Because that's actually the truth. So honestly, guys, all of this is about you telling the truth. So figure out what that truth is. And you can claim anything as yours. Really, you can claim anything. 4 figures will be nothing soon. Especially if you're one of my girls. 4 figures will be nothing soon. It'll be 5 figures. Okay? Okay? So maybe, if you want some accountability, type in here, what are you going to sell? What are you going to offer? Because it's not about selling it to the person. It's not about that. It's actually just about being honest. If you can help them, tell them. If you can't, send them to somebody else. If you're experienced, you know where your field of expertise ends and somebody else's begins. You know that. So then refer them to somebody else. Or let your clients use you as Google and etc. So just so you have a little bit of an inkling of what went on in that $3,000 course, one of the girls, I actually found her a personal trainer. So and then when I rang this guy, because she was going to do sessions with him, and he said, "What do you mean? You're a trainer online and you're charging her and you want her to train with me?" I said, "Yeah, I do. You're a really good trainer. You're in her area. I want her to train with you. And I want you to do the kind of training that I say, because she's totally inflamed, her joints are really sore, da 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 da. So can you modify your training a little bit to what my suggestions are, or is this whole transaction hurting your head too much? Are you not open to that?" Do you know what, to be honest, I actually can't remember his answer because it was years ago, but I remember she ended up going back to train. She drove an hour to train with one of her old trainers, still was on my course. But another, like, I'm talking really high end. Like, I mean, I bought this woman joggers, like shoes, you know. I found medical people for treatment in the area that one particular man needed, like very, very, very high level. They got everything. Why? Because you guys love your clients. Anyway, you get the point, right? You're so worthy of all of it, but you've got to let it come out of your mouth. That ends today's rant. Type below what you are going to offer and just go do it and watch the floodgates open. And care more than you worry about the money, okay? Later.